What's going on, Schmidt heads? Welcome back to another week of undercover picks against the spread. We are at the wild card, or is it the super wild card weekend? So, a lot of good games, and I think I know exactly how the playoffs are gonna go. I'll do my picks for this weekend, and then I'll sprinkle in a little bonus. Uh, about all the picks, like how I think every who's gonna win each game going forward. But I'll make other videos in the weeks going on. Don't worry, cause I still don't know what the spreads are gonna be, and we gotta cover those spreads, baby. Um, I'm gonna send this video to ESPN. Just in case they need some new people on the show. A lot of people might get fired, and it's a small window of opportunity, but you miss every shot you don't take. So let's get to it, guys. I'm ready to go. Apologies, I'm not swagging out today. Coming fresh off work, and yeah, just running low on time. Busy, man, busy. But next year, like I say in every video, next year it's all gonna be legit. Gonna have the graphics and all that stuff. All right, so let's get to these games. Enough blabbering. I'm excited for this week. We killed it at the end of at the end of this year, and I'm planning to keep killing it going on into the playoffs. No money picks. No money picks. I don't know if I'll have any money picks for the remainder of the playoffs. I am confident in my picks, but I already won money this year. I'm kind of good with where I'm at. I kind of just want to sit back and enjoy these games now. Um, Still gonna sprinkle in a little cash, but no money picks. I'm not doing anything serious. Um, First game. Let's get to it. We got the Saturday games. We got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Houston Texans. Texans are +3 at home. I'm locking in the Los Angeles Chargers to win and to cover. Um, just how the end of the season was going, it just looks like Texans got in uh, off a technicality. They were just better than the rest of their shitty division. Um, they could have lost another game, I believe, and still made the playoffs. Don't quote me on that. But they didn't. They pretty much lost their way into the playoffs. That's what it feels like. They didn't play too good. They lost a lot of really good players, which is hence why they're not playing too good. And I just think going against this Chargers, yeah, I just think the Chargers win this next game. It even makes for, I think, a more exciting matchup next week. Um, but this is the one game out of all the AFC games, the Saturday games, that I'm a little iffy on. The other two, I'm like 100% confident. We'll get to that. But right now, I'm leaning. If I switch this, I'll post a short. I'm leaning the Chargers to win the cover. It just makes the most sense to me. Uh, Herbert's not going to make any mistakes. Stroud doesn't have his whole offense. The Chargers have a good defense, so I doubt Stroud and Collins can do it all on their own. Um, and I think the Chargers cover as well. I think they win slightly convincingly. It won't be a blowout, but I think around 8 minutes in the fourth quarter, we'll start feeling good about Chargers -3. So that's a lean, close to a lock. We're going Chargers to win and to cover the 3 points. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are -9.5 at home. Uh, to me, we already saw them face off twice this year. First game, Steelers won. I think due to the Ravens missing a lot of field goals. Second game, like I thought, Ravens blew them out of the water. Now, that's probably why the spread's so big this game. Haven't looked at injuries or anything, but I don't think I know Zay Flowers is out this week, and I think Baltimore's offense is gonna kill no matter what. Derrick Henry is a beast. Lamar Jackson is a beast. Both their tight ends are beasts. They're clutch. But I think that Zay Flowers' injury will help the Steelers cover the spread. And I think even regardless, I was going to pick Steelers to cover the spread 9.5. This should be a good playoff game. I doubt we're going to see Ravens blow out the Steelers twice. If anything, I'm nervous of like a late game, like late in the game, Ravens get one last score kind of when, it's over with like 5 minutes left, 4 minutes left. They just score a touchdown or kick that fucking field goal when they're up 7 points already. That's really my only concern about losing this pick. Steelers are definitely going to put up a fight. Going to have some sort of defensive plan, I believe. I haven't thought their defense was as good as everybody else this year, but I do think this game they're going to show up. They're going to make some plays, keep the spread close. All that being said, I'm 100% confident the Ravens will win this game. Ravens are going to win this game for sure, and Steelers are going to cover. I think Russell Wilson will get some of his classy bullcrap freaking lob ball passes that go for like 40 yards, 35 yards, and clutch or just good situations, just helpful at good moments. He's going to do it when it matters. But Baltimore is just going to be too much to handle, that offense. Derrick Henry, Steelers are definitely going to have to stop him. I think they got a good chance. The defense is all right. They got some hard-nosed guys back there. But, yeah, I think it's easy. Ravens win this game. Steelers cover. Next game, we're locking that. We have the Denver Broncos at the Buffalo Bills. Bills are minus 8.5. I thought about this. I'm confident the Bills win. The Bills are going to win this game. For sure. And then I think they also cover as well. Denver's been looking real dominant, so I feel like it'd be too easy to pick them to cover this spread. And this, after recent weeks, you would think this is going to be a close game, but I think the Bills win in double digits. And, yeah, I just think it's going to be a nice dominant win. And then it'll be the Bills and Ravens next week. And the Chiefs and the Chargers. And that's how it's going to go in the AFC. Now, before I get to my NFC picks, so I'm locking that in, by the way. Buffalo Bills minus 8.5. I just think the way the season's playing out, Bills are ready. I think they've been waiting for the playoffs all year, especially in that division. They knew they had it, and they kept winning games, maintain that second seed. So even though playoffs was a lock for them pretty much week, 6, definitely by, week 9, they kept playing, winning games. Even last week, they had a quick, easy touchdown drive. I like that. They did something. They didn't just sit their guys the whole game. So they definitely left that game feeling good. That was an easy drive for them. So, yeah, I'm going with the Bills. I think they're ready for this. Bo Nix is a rookie. He's been looking good. Not really like a rookie all year, like he's been in the league for 2 or 3 years, but uh, helps when Sean Payton's your coach. Um, but yeah, I think playoff times, rookies are gonna look like rookies. I think he'll make a mistake. It'll get in his head a little bit because now, like, if he makes a mistake, this is it. Uh, Winning in, lose, and out. So I think that pressure, even though that's kind of how it is all season, definitely towards the end of the end of the year, when they lost that game, um, you could see his face against, like, it's starting to affect him, get in his head, I think. And I think we're going to see that this Saturday. So, yeah. And for the rest of the AFC, I do believe this is how it will play out. All right. I don't know the spreads yet. So it's going to be Chargers, Chiefs. Chiefs obviously win that. I did say in my earlier videos I thought we'd see a Harbaugh brother matchup, but we already saw that earlier in the year, so perhaps getting two in 1 year, it doesn't make it as meaningful. We already saw it. So we got to give it some more time to build it up. Build it up again. Maybe next year we'll see it. Anyway, so Chargers are out after next week. Then we're going to have the Bills play the Ravens. And I'm going to go with the Bills to win because earlier in the year I said I believed that the Bills and the Chiefs were going to face off in the playoffs. It was actually week 10. I said the Bills were going to beat the Chiefs this week, or, week 10, and then face off again in the playoffs. And it'll be like, oh my God, the Chiefs are playing the Bills, the team that ruined their undefeated streak, and would have been their only loss if they didn't throw that one away at the end of the year, benching every single one of their starters. So, yeah, that's gonna be a crazy game going into the Super Bowl. So, like, that's the most dramatic game you can get out of the AFC, I believe, is that Bills-Chiefs matchup. So I think that's what the AFC Championship game is building up to. And then, of course, I also said I believe the two teams in the Super Bowl were going to be the Chiefs and the Lions. So obviously, Chiefs end up on top on the AFC. You heard it here first. That's the exact way it's going to play out. I hope, spoiler alert. Too late for that, but yeah. You don't have to believe me. You can still watch it and have fun, Act like something else is going to happen. Go for it. Green Bay. We're getting to Sunday now, the NFC games. We have the Green Bay Packers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are -4.5. On paper, I would say it doesn't even look like a hard pick on paper. I'm going with the Eagles to win and to cover. Packers, they just had maybe not a roller coaster, but just an up and down year. They just were supposed to look good all year and they didn't. They had, I think, a good little 2 or 3 game stretch where we thought we might see that the rest of the way through, and then last week happens, Love gets hurt. I don't know if he's healthy or if he will be playing, but either way, I was going to pick the Eagles to win and to cover this game anyway. So now, with that injury, maybe he's not 100% healthy. We got that going for us. So I'm locking that in, Eagles to win and to cover. Green Bay, they just kind of... And I think against the Eagles' #1 defense, they have they can't have a mediocre game. And that's kind of how I feel like the end of their season went. With kind of a little above mediocre. Good enough to beat teams. They have a good record, though, a solid record. But, yeah. Next game, And then they lost that last game too to the freaking Bears. You know, that was kind of a little demoralizing. So anyway, next game. I had an iffy game the first week. Didn't know if it was gonna be Chargers Houston. I have another iffy game this week. Still have a lean almost lock. But we got the Washington Commanders at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers are -3 points at home. Back and forth on this one. I kind of would like to think one of the rookies is going to make it to the next round between Daniels and Nix. And it's not going to be Nix. But I also don't want to base my pick off that because obviously none of them are going all the way. So I don't want to bank too much on them. Winning a game when they're not going to make it all the way. It would be interesting, but I think overall both of them making it to the playoffs and having a year like they did it's already enough to talk about. They already won this year, you know, in terms of they'll get their praises. So I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game and to cover. Feeling more confident on the win, obviously, but I think they get the cover too. 3 points isn't a lot. And there's no hook, so we got that. I'll take Tampa Bay with the 3 points. Although the way Washington games go, you would like to think if it's close, it might be under 3. So I think that's the only thing worrying me. Washington just has a way to fight their way back in games or just make games like super close. But I'm gonna go with the Bucks to win the cover. I just think they've been killing it at the end of the year, more so than Washington. Washington had, I feel like, a really good 4-week stretch where they just was like, it was surprising. It was like, oh my God, they keep playing good every single week. We thought it was just a one-off type of deal. These guys are for real. But yeah, I think they're run-ins here. Tampa Bay to win in the cover. I think Baker Mayfield and those guys, they've been here. More experience. I'm going to go with experience on the picks this week. Moving forward, it ain't going to be about experience. But when it comes to these rookies, we got to see how they do in these situations, you know? That's why, obviously, I'm not putting money on these games. But Tampa Bay to win in the cover. I have a good feeling about the win. Next game, last game, we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Los Angeles Rams. Rams are +2.5. I'm going with the Rams to win the cover, and I'm locking that. I feel good about it. I feel like they have the more impressive offense now. You know what I mean? With everyone healthy, Nakua, Kupp, Stafford, and if Rams win this game, we get that Lions-Rams game, and that's what everybody wants to see, you know. So that's what I'm going with. That's another. I'm not gonna lie. That's a reason why I'm picking the Rams to win here, and obviously to cover. They're the underdogs. I don't believe I haven't picked any underdogs yet. There's got to be at least one underdog that wins, right? It's not a rule or anything, but it happens a lot. And I think Minnesota, yeah, that's Sam Darnold playing great. But towards the end of the year, if you look at my other videos, I was saying it. He's showing signs of Sam Darnoldism. And was it him last week that kept overthrowing the ball to all his targets? I believe it was. And I think it's an easy pick with the underdog, the upset, the Los Angeles Rams to win and to cover. It's technically not even an upset though if you think about it. Rams are the higher seed. They didn't. The Vikings have a better record though, so look at it how you will. Uh, Vikings have the better record. That's how I'm looking at it. So Rams are the underdog here to me, even though they're the better seed. Um, yep, Rams to win and a cover. I think, and let me just get into it from here. The rest of how I think the NFC will play out. I gave you the AFC. Now it's time. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to know how the NFC is going to play out, uh, just skip to the end of the video or mute it. Give me those minutes. Anyway, obviously we're gonna get the Rams playing the Lions next week, and then the Eagles playing the Bucks. A rematch of last year's. Was it the wild card game? I don't believe. I believe it was a wild card game. It was a playoff match. Eagles look like crap, and they kind of started flirting that idea again this year, but then, clear that up real quick. Let them know, hey, everything's going on. Brown and Hurts is fine. They're still best buds, blah, blah, blah. So I think Eagles show up this game. Hurts is going to be playing. Oh, sorry about that. Hurts is going to be playing. And Saquon's going to be playing. Brown's going to be playing. Smith is going to be playing. Their whole number one defense is going to be playing. Don't 100% quote me on all that. I didn't look at injury reports for any of these games. I don't believe there's anything serious. For the serious ones like Hurts, I know he's playing. Yeah, so we're gonna Lions are obviously gonna beat the Rams because I think they're gonna make it to the Super Bowl. Like, I feel like that's what this whole year's been building up for. Chiefs Lions. So then we got the Eagles and Bucks, a rematch of last year after the Eagles had a real bad game. I feel like the rematch this year is only for one reason, for the Eagles to get their revenge and show them what should have happened last year. They just had an off. I don't know what was going on, honestly. I saw it from the beginning of the game. They just didn't look like they were in it. They were just at a sink. That faces on their look, all that. So I think this year is the year they come, and they got Saquon Barkley this year. So they're going to come in, score on the Bucks like a lot of teams have been able to score on the Bucks this year, and I think Bucks put up a fight. I really do. But it might be one of those fights where the Eagles still just look like the better team all game, even though the Bucks might hang around and make us sweat a little bit. I think the Eagles are just gonna dominate all game, or have the lead all game. It'll just be one of those games where the Bucks are battling from behind, giving them fans hope. But Eagles are gonna win that game, I think. And then that sets us up for what I think would be the most exciting matchup in the NFC, because as far as I know, did the Lions play the Eagles this year? I want to look it up, but I don't want to waste anybody's time. I don't believe they played the Eagles this year. I should look it up, right, you guys? If you don't mind. Because if the Lions haven't played the Eagles this year, then I'm 100% confident. Like, this is definitely going to be the NFC Championship game. Lions versus Eagles. That's the most exciting matchup. Two great records. And Lions beat a lot of good teams this year. And this is going to be a team that they haven't beat yet. And they're going to beat them. I do think the Lions beat the Eagles. Uh, and yeah, I think that's gonna be a great matchup. It's gonna be close, back forth, back and forth, back and forth. Big Barkley run, uh, freaking Sonic and Knuckles. You know, uh, gonna be, I think, a good offensive output on both sides. But even though it'll be high scoring, the defenses will still make their plays. It'll just be super dramatic. That's how I see it going, and then the Lions will win, like they always do. No matter the odds, I feel like have been stacked against them all year, and they just keep winning, keep looking good, keep fighting. Been playing with a chip on their shoulder since week one. Actually, I believe week one they played really bad, but ever since then, uh, yeah. So Lions, they're going all the way. And they're getting healthier too. I think Montgomery's supposed to be back. I don't know if he's coming back this week, but yeah, if he's coming back, if he's set to come back sometime during the playoffs, they ain't losing. So anyway, back to the question before I close this video out. And if you guys stuck around this long, you are a true Schmidt head. They did not play this year. So yeah, definitely that's the NFC Championship is going to be Lions Eagles. Lions will win. AFC Championship, Chiefs Bills. Chiefs will win. Chiefs and Lions in the Super Bowl. I'm going to say what I said when I first started doing these videos. I believe that was like week 10. Week 10 is when I started these videos. And go back and check them. I've been right about a lot, especially my main predictions. Besides that Harbaugh brother rematch in the playoffs, that's really the only thing I was wrong about when it came to these playoffs. Who will be in the playoffs? But so yeah, Chiefs are gonna win it. They're gonna win it all. Get the three-peat. And then all the sports analysis journalists will be able to babble on forever about who's the best, Brady or Mahomes, just like they do with LeBron and Jordan. Even though they both have different different gameplay and styles, and have their own achievements, have their own teams. You can make arguments on both sides for the rest of your life. That's what's going to happen. Right now, this is where it starts. This is when it's going to really start. I know people might have mentioned it here in the past, and people say, Mahomes got to do more. Mahomes got to do more. Once he gets his three-peat, that's something Brady never did. And that's when they're going to start talking like, yeah, he has a three-peat. Brady doesn't. If he gets one more, maybe he doesn't need to exactly get to 7. I don't know. So I really feel like I'm thinking super far down the future. But that's the feeling I've had since week 10, even before that. But right now, for this video's sake, we'll see week 10, because that's when I started doing these videos. And I'm going with that until I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, of course, I'm coming out with a new prediction. But right now, I'm liking this. I've been riding it pretty much all year. And it'll feel good if I'm right. If you bet responsibly. I'm not betting any games this week, I don't believe. Not more than $5, maybe just for fun. So I have a little bit of fun watching these games. Good luck this week. And peace.